So I've been able to make over $170,000 with one singular product, all organically at 75% profit margins. You guys can go ahead and take a look right here at my Shopify dashboard. I'll go ahead and do a quick little refresh. But I want to talk about exactly what type of concepts allowed me to get to this point, also provide me with that type of longevity, right? So in this lesson, I'm going to be personally breaking down organic concepts that you can go ahead and use for any sort of product, no matter the niche, what concepts actually convert, right? What concepts are going to generate you money from the views that you're getting. And lastly, how to use them for your specific product, because every product is different, right? And so we're going to have to be, kind of diligent and almost picky to see which concepts are going to be worthwhile for the type of product that we're running, right? So we're gonna go ahead and talk about concepts 101 in this video. I don't think I've ever made a video like this, so let's go ahead and break it down. All right, so the first type of concept we're gonna be covering is probably the most known one, and that's the one that you've probably been seeing all over your burner, and it's going to be the stitch concept, right? And so this has been a thing since the dawn of time, but usually people like to use it for their products, right? Specifically organic dropshippers, right? And recently we've been seeing a big influx of these because people like to go ahead and abuse them a little bit when it comes to literally lying about cow farms, people acting like they're homeless, but they're really not, and almost kind of scamming people, right? So I would definitely stay away from these type of stitches, but I'm gonna go ahead and show you like a good variation of a stitch you can go ahead and implement for your product, right? And again, there's different severities to stitches, right? There's the really messed up ones, right? People acting like they got cancer and that they need to raise money for their treatment, or the people that actually use it in a correct way to actually market their product correctly, right? So I'm gonna go ahead, show you an example of how to actually do it the correct way. Take a look right here.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. Take a look at the 5 and 10. It's glistening once again.
So just like that, right? We're not seeing anything messed up. We're not seeing people with cancer trying to raise money. It's a simple stitch clip, right? We're almost kind of adding some hype to the product by saying that, hey, Lego just released these new flower advent calendar sets, right? With then a stitch clip of Ed Sheeran going ahead and giving it out, right? And then we do a full unboxing of the advent calendar, making it very seasonal. And again, there's nothing messed up here. So again, this is a good way to actually use stitch clips for your product, but we're not lying, we're not raising fake money, or impersonating any sort of person that is literally down bad, right? So again, this is going to be a very good example of how you can go ahead and use stitch clips for your product. And again, it has to make sense, right? You're not going to have a grandpa, right, marketing a goth product because it doesn't make sense. Why is there an 80-year-old, buying like a blanket that has to do with like a band that just came out a year ago? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like a grandpa listening to Little Baby. The guy's like 90 years old. It doesn't make sense. The stitch or the avatar, right, should relate to your target niche, right, and the product that you're selling. Like I mentioned, the bare minimum you could do is if you're running a goth product, add a goth girl like this guy did. That's good. But don't add a 90-year-old grandpa, selling F1 products. It doesn't make sense, right? So again, this is going to be Stitch. The next one we're going to go ahead and cover are trends, right? So again, you can actually extract a lot of video ideas for your products from trends that are going on these platforms. Right here, we have Charli D'Amelio, 169 million views just by creating a trend. And again, you got to think to yourself, how can I implement this trend for my product, right? And I personally did this with Merkbase. I'll go ahead and show you how I did it. Take a look right here.
It all started when my mom met my dad, and they fell in love, and they had me. Hi, I'm Ryan, and my life, it's kind of crazy.
Perfect. So that's going to be the video right there. And pretty much what I did is I extracted this viral kind of trend last year, and it was called the This Is My Family trend. And basically, as you guys can see right here, the actual audio that I used was from this trend. And you can see how people were doing this with themselves, right?
It all started when my mom met my dad, and they fell in love, and they had me.
Right.
Hi, I'm Ryan.
So people were doing this with themselves. They were even doing it with their dogs, right?
Love, and they had me. Hi. It all started when my
even
mom
Charli D'Amelio
met
did
my
it.
dad, and they fell in love, and they had me. Hi.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. But basically what I did was, I asked myself, how can I tie in this trend with my product? And that's exactly what I did, bro. I found 2 crappier versions of the Deadpool mask that I had in hand at that very time. And I literally did exactly that, bro. And then I tied them together, boom, finished product right there. So this is how I personally extracted a trend for my product. And again, most of the time you can, right? But sometimes you really can't, because if you're going to do like the Harlem Shake on a product, you can't really do that. Well, you probably could with this product, but it has to make sense. Another good example right here was this. This is from Squid Games. If you guys don't know, this is a very popular show on Netflix. And I basically ran this last year, but it was like kind of like a pump and dump. But basically, you can see how this person was utilizing the trend of this this game that was going on in the show, right? And again, very, very niche content. Seeing, you know, he said, seeing if I can play Gongi faster than player 338 or 388, right? You would only know this if you watched the show. But you could see how you can extract certain trends or certain things from a certain movie or show that's currently popular and add a product behind it. Because I was actually trying to dropship these, but like I mentioned, it was super pump and dump, super low perceived value. But again, a lot of people were extracting these trends to tied into these little Gongi sets that you can go ahead and dropship for like $1, sell them for 30, right? But yeah, it was going crazy. Like I mentioned, this video got like 1.3 million likes, over 19 million views. And again, this is a good idea when it comes to certain products that actually have to do with a movie or a show, etc. So again, what kind of trends are in the movie or whatever show you're watching that I could personally use for my product? Okay, that obviously has to do with the show, right? And the last one I'm gonna show you right here is an exact example of what I just mentioned with the Merc face mask. And how I implemented it with my product. So as you guys saw right there, I don't know what's going on with that. I basically found this clip of the movie that was currently going super viral because it was like Wolverine showing his abs or whatever. And a lot of people were reacting to this scene of the movie. And so what I did was I extracted this idea. I put on the Deadpool mask with like really bad posture just to add a little bit of the controversy. And it got over 400,000 views, right? Over 48K likes. But the main reason I even found this was because I optimized my burner for the niche, and I found out that this was currently going viral within the space. A lot of girls were reacting to this scene of the movie. I think this was the video that I saw, and I replicated one for one just with my product in it. And again, it went viral. It was super niche because it was also targeting the target audience that I wanted to target, right? People that actually watch the Deadpool movie and know exactly what this is, which is why this video actually converted perfectly because it attracted the right audience, right? All Deadpool fans. Obviously, it's flooded with burners because I've been leaked this on my channel, but you know what I mean? This is how you can actually implement trends. Next one, controversy, right? So again, went ahead and found a good example of controversy and how you can go ahead and add some controversial touches to your videos to go ahead and almost boost them and make them go viral while still focusing on the product. Because if it's too controversial, then it's gonna steer the focus away from the product and only to the controversy. So we wanna make sure that we kind of sprinkle a little bit of controversy to almost kind of boost our video a little bit, but also just make sure that people are still focusing on the product. So we're gonna go ahead, take a look at Pool Studio right here. These guys were selling the same mask as me. Shout out Juan, by the way.
So, buddy. Allow me to explain.
But
we have made the world's first blinking Deadpool mask that can be controlled through a Ring remote. The mask comes with a...
if you guys didn't see that, the controversy was the actual comment from, you know, Ryan Reynolds, the main Deadpool actor in the movie. Obviously, this is all fake. This is generated using a fake comment generator. But you can see how he used this to implement a little bit of controversy into the video.
We have made the world's first blinking Deadpool.
And again, something like this isn't going to steer attention away from the product, guys. He's still able to explain the product in good length, right? And people are going to be like, what the heck? Like, no way, right? Another thing that he did as well is showed that Marvel doesn't have TikTok, right? This portion right here. Obviously, all you have to do this is just cut your service off on your phone and nothing will appear when you search anything up, right? And so people are commenting about, you know, Marvel does have TikTok, right? Obviously, the mask itself was super controversial because it looked terrible. But again, people are really talking about the controversy of like, Marvel does have TikTok. You know, Ryan Reynolds, there's no way he actually commented that. Et cetera, right? So this is how you can actually use a little bit of controversy to kind of boost your videos. And again, you could use this for any singular product. Obviously, make the comment have to do with your product, right? Because it's not going to make sense if Ryan Reynolds comments on a goth, you know, type of product, right? It's not going to make sense. So make it make sense. Almost shapeshift it to your product, right? Another good example here was Unity Vibe. This guy was selling some gender fluid type of things, and by things, I mean like pins, guys. These were like these pins to kind of like show off your pronouns to people, right? Again, this is what you would call a controversial product, right? Because not only is, you know, the topic itself super controversial, but the product is too, right? And so again, he didn't have to use anything crazy, no fake comments, but just using this product in his videos is going to be controversial because again, people have their own opinions when it comes to gender fluid people in the United States, et cetera, et cetera. And you can see how people are saying this is a mental illness, but people are also saying I'm not gender fluid, but this is really cool, right? So you're gonna have, you know, the two sides, you know, kind of fighting between what's right, what's wrong. So yeah, that's going to be a very good example of a controversial product because again, LGBTQ is just super controversial here in the States. People have their own opinions. People are fighting over it back and forth. And you can see how just by showing the product, this guy's just getting crazy engagement. People are trolling. People are also fighting back for what they believe in, et cetera, right? So this is going to be a good example of a controversial product. And now the last one here, another controversial product here, we have the Trump scrubber. And again, anything that has to do with Trump is just going to be controversial, right? So again, this is a good mix of both, right? It's a controversial product, but it's also a controversial concept because this guy literally is cleaning poop out of his toilet. Poop in the sense it's probably chocolate. I hope so, bro. But yeah, you can see how he kind of made a hybrid of both a controversial product and a controversial concept. But again, don't ever run a product like this, bro. You want to stay away from this type of shit. And also it just attracts the wrong audience, bro. Straight burners in here. But you can see how controversial this video was by just tying both in. So again, he made a kind of like a hybrid. The next thing I'm going to talk about are contrast type of concepts. And you guys are going to start noticing these stars. And these are the ones that are going to actually convert the most for you guys. And so I went ahead and saved them for last for the people that deserve watching this. So here we have Shuttle X right here.
Yeah, wait a minute. Get it how you live it. 10 toes in when we standing on business. I'm a big stepper. Underground methods. Top-notch hoes. Get the most, not the lizard.
So as you guys saw right here, he did a concept and final product type of video. And this is going to actually boost engagement and also make the viewer want to see the final creation, right? And it's cool because these videos have been doing universally good since the start of organic. Like you could literally do this with any product and almost go viral with it because it's just a very good, high converting type of concept that makes people want to watch the whole entire thing, especially when you can kind of like almost drag it out a little bit more. He kind of dragged it out a little bit too quick. Like, yeah, he was already showing the final creation by the 5-second mark. So if I were him, I would probably show the final creation right around like the 9-second mark, 10-second mark. But it doesn't matter, right? It still did really good. It got over 3 million views, and you could see how you could just implement this immediately with your product, right? I also did this with Merkface. So right here, I said what people think I sell. And then I went ahead and showed the final product, right? What I actually sell, showing it on my face. And again, doing a quick little sneaky CTA. So again, if you guys are trying to actually add call to actions to your videos, you guys can go ahead and add a sneaky CTA is what I call it, right? And write it on a piece of paper and you won't get flagged for, trying to promote something on TikTok, right? Rather than you using like, the native TikTok font, overlaying it and then, your video not doing good, right? But again, I went ahead and implemented this kind of concept and yeah, it performs really good with almost any type of product. So yeah, that's going to be your contrast type of video. Next is going to be the creator, right? So putting yourself in position of the creator of the product. So again, very good high converting concept right here. And you can see how he's doing it right here. And this is really good, guys, because this almost makes it that much more believable that you're not just a random dropshipper. You're putting yourself in the position of, hey, I'm actually handcrafting these for you guys. And, this is how it goes, right? So again, this guy thought out of the box when it came to this very saturated product. But because he was able to introduce this new marketing angle of, hey, this is like me making these, follow my journey. Bro, it went absolutely stupid. It's almost kind of like creating your own stitch clip in the sense. You're using that kind of same stitch clip concept, but you're using yourself as the face of the brand. And that's always going to be better because you're going to be able to be consistent with the stitches that you use, which is overall going to lead to more conversions because it's going to be a lot more believable. So yeah, that's going to be that example. And now the second example right here is going to be from one of my old products. So don't judge me. This was probably my 4th ever product that I ever ran. And take a look right here.
Excuse me, buddy, you clearly don't know us that well. Allow me to explain.
Dude, I can't believe I ran this, bro. This was such a crap product, bro.
Going through thousands of plans until we got the design just right.
It's crazy because people are still trying to run this till this day.
Should we finally drop them?
Bro, I remember losing so much aura, bro. People would look at me like up here, be like, what are you doing? Like a grown man. But hey, man, that's sometimes what it takes. But what was I talking about? Yeah, so I was actually positioning myself as the creator here by just literally building this thing from scratch. I literally just undid a couple of screws and went ahead and showed myself like crafting these, right? Even down to showing this, like the blueprint of the product. Literally just ripped this from Google and then scribbling on a notebook to just show people like, hey, like I've been grinding all day long, even sipping the coffee, you know what I'm saying? But again, this is a really good way to almost, again, perceive yourself as the creator, and the conversions are going to be that much better. But yeah, never run a product like this if you ever were thinking about it. And you can see like 2 comments, right? But the first one was, where can you buy this from? And I'm your second follower, and yes, send me one, right? So again, you can see how people kind of like react very positively to this, because it's almost like they want to kind of tag along for the journey and see how far you can kind of go with your small little business, right? So again, a very simple concept, bad product, right? That's a good example of like, you can have a really good concept in hand, but if the product that you're running is just trash, you're kind of cooked, right? Again, product is almost everything in this game. So that's going to be the creator concept right here. Another one we're going to talk about, and we're almost done, guys, I promise you, is the public concept. So you can see how these kind of print views. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at Spooky Bricks first. The moon comes up. So yeah, it's a very simple concept. Pretty much you pretend to find this this product at a certain store, whether it's Target, Walmart, Build-A-Bear. You could even do McDonald's, Burger King, Pandora. There's so many different things. Again, it has to kind of do with your product. You're not going to find a, I don't know, like a car frame instead of a Happy Meal. It just doesn't make sense, right? You have to make sure it makes sense. So yeah, this concept does really good for universally almost every single product. Again, like I mentioned, it has to make sense, but you basically just plant it at a store and you pretend to find it, right? Not only is this going to add a little bit of controversy, right? But it's actually very engaging, because when you film in public, right, there's actually a lot more depth in the video and you can see real people, right? Obviously with Spooky Bricks here, if you're watching this, what I would have personally done is made the whole entire video at the store, right? And again, you have to go out of your comfort zone a little bit. It's going to be a little bit awkward. People looking at you weird with the camera, with the tripod, even with a chest mount. I've done this multiple times, but I promise you it's only going to make you go viral, right? So again, imagine you're doing the whole unboxing at Target, right? Not only is it going to be a little bit controversial because you're not supposed to open up products at the store without, you know, purchasing them first, but it's going to almost make it a little bit more believable to the viewer that, hey, this is a real thing. They're also going to be seeing like random pedestrians walking, etc., and it's going to boost the video that much more, right? But again, you could see how people are saying, we don't shop at Target right now, right? People are currently boycotting Target. So again, Target in general is just very controversial, and you're going to get a whole bunch of comments either asking, hey, where do you get this? Is this true? Target, don't buy from Target. Is this an off-brand thing? You know what I'm saying? Like, again, it's just a very controversial type of topic, especially with Legos, because people are like, is this off-brand? Yes, it is. We're drop shipping from China, right? But yeah, this is a very good way to kind of like blow up your account, blow up any sort of product, and almost kind of like get some boost if your videos can't go viral. And again, people have been using this for clothing brands, even for drop shipping products, etc. They do very, very, very good. Again, one little example right here before we cap this one off. People are taking, clothing into Target as well, and people truly believe this. Like, can I purchase this somewhere that is not Target? Like I said, Target is just super controversial right now, and people are like, I need this, but it's not at Target. So again, you're gonna get a lot of comments that are going to just overall boost the engagement. Okay, so again, that's gonna be the public content for you guys. And then lastly, last two, I promise, seasonal, right? We're going into the Christmas season. People are going ahead and making these type of little concepts right here with the Christmas tree. Again, this is only going to convert more because, well, it's the Christmas season. People want to almost visualize themselves buying this product and even gifting it to a loved one. And you can see how well it does, even for such a crappy little product right here. Why do I say this is crappy? Because it's a very small advent calendar, low perceived value. The Stitch movie also came out like last, I think like 6 months ago, and it's rinsed, bro. This was also ran last year as well. But anything Christmas related with a Christmas tree is going to do good because we're in the Christmas season. So again, that's the bare minimum that you should be doing now, right? It's the 23rd of October. You know, you have like a week left until Halloween. So after Halloween, bro, it's time to go all out with these Christmas trees. Go buy yourself a Christmas tree from the store, put it in your living room, and start going crazy, right? It's only going to perform a lot better and convert. You also have to remember, it's going to be pushed out more by the algorithm because anything that has to do with Christmas is almost like a trend, you know, all through November and December, because it's the holiday. So it's going to get pushed out even more. And now the final one right here, we have Ghoul Bricks. And you can see how this person went ahead and did a Halloween advent calendar and made it, you know, kind of spooky, right? Again, it could be a simple touch as like playing something on your TV, right? That has to do with that particular season, and it's going to do a little bit better, right? Obviously, this is a crap product as well. Would never run this. And yeah, that's pretty much it, right? He's almost kind of like turning his background into the Halloween type of vibe, right? That's the bare minimum you could do with these advent calendars as well, right? Tying it into whatever holiday you are targeting, right? Lastly, storyline, okay? These are by far some of the most impactful ones and hardest to do, genuinely, because it takes a lot of creativity. And I want to go ahead and introduce you guys to this
My mom
product
spent
right
her
here.
last money to give me this spider mask as a present. I was so happy and immediately showed to my brother, and he laughed at me. I couldn't let that sit on me and immediately threw my mask away and bought one from Spider Studio. It has controllable eyes with this Ring remote, and best of all, it costs less than 10 coffees at Starbucks. Who has the cooler mask now? My mom spent her...
So you could see how this guy created a storyline revolving around his product. Obviously, it's a different variation of a, you know, superhero mask. It also blinks. And he did a phenomenal job because not only does it explain the storyline of, you know, the mom finding the mask and whatnot, it also keeps you engaged because you almost want to know the full story, right? His brother laughed at him, right? You can see at this point, he's showing it to his brother. He makes fun of him. He throws it in the trash. And then so it's almost like provoking a little bit of like, oh, what is this new mask? And so he goes ahead, he shows off the features, he puts it on, and then it also explains like, hey, it's less than 10 coffees at Starbucks. It's affordable and it's cooler than your typical, you know, pump and dump little mask you can just buy at Spirit Halloween, right? So again, this is a great way to almost introduce any product through a storyline. It just has to make sense, right? And so I personally did this with Deadpool. I literally copied this guy one for one, added my mask, and went viral, right? But again, it has to almost do with your product. So again, if you wanted to maybe do this with a advent calendar, you can go ahead and create a storyline where, you know, you had an old advent calendar from last year, your brother made fun of you for it, then you bought this new advent calendar from your brand and you showcase it, and then you can even talk about how it's affordable and you're not getting made fun of anymore, right? So again, it's a great way to create a little bit of curiosity, up your retention, and also just come up with a new video concept that, yes, takes a little bit more creativity, but goes ahead and, you know, converts that much better because people truly believe these storylines. Now, the final one that I'm going to show you here is this one right here. And this is by far the craziest type of marketing that I've seen for a product. I don't know if these guys are doing organic dropshipping, but Titan Toys T3 has been here since the dawn of my journey. And they've been kind of making these 3D printed figures and running them organically through like only storyline concepts. So take a look at this. This is literally a freaking movie. T3, if you're watching this, bro, let me get you on a call for my students. I want to like break down your whole creative process because I applaud you for this because this is insane. Watch this. Let me know what you think, and then we'll break it down.
Scientist. A long time ago, there was a scientist who loved creating inventions and spending time with his young son. Unfortunately, he began to develop a degenerative movement disorder, so he decided to create a robot to help take care of his son.
Initiating test startup.
His invention was a complete success.
Welcome, prototype 1013.
The scientist presented his creation to his son, and he loved it. But one day, some thieves broke in to steal the scientist's projects.
Boys, look who I found sneaking! Little brat.
There was a complete massacre.
My child. No, this wasn't supposed to happen. I'm so sorry.
Even though the prototype was destroyed and powerless, it somehow got back up.
All right, guys, that's going to be the video right there. Insane storyline, just going through the whole like child and dad type of thing and the villain story, right? And you could see how well these videos do for his YouTube because, like I said, he solely relies on storyline type of videos, which does take a tremendous amount of creativity. But you can see how this guy literally built a brand with these 3D printed figures using solely organic marketing and storylines, bro. Not only does he have almost 1 million subscribers, but he's also huge on TikTok. And these guys have been around since the dawn of time, almost 1 million followers on TikTok. They also have a huge Instagram as well. But What I'm trying to say is like, this is such a crappy product, right? These are just 3D printed figures, but because people buy into the story of each individual figure and, you know, the villain story or whatever story they have, right? Because again, these guys introduced a new variant like every single month almost. It's insane. Bro, it's insane. These guys have probably made multiple six figures just from these type of storylines. So again, this is a great way to make a crappy product into a very valuable product just through intrinsic storytelling, right? And almost adding lore behind your product, because there's literally T13 lore now, and people literally watch this like a TV show. And I think they also released some sort of like long form type of seasonal shit, and you can just see, bro, like the amount of views that these guys get. And again, if we take a look at their website, bro, this is a normal product. You can probably source this on Ali at this point, but you could see how these are just 3D printed models that he's able to sell for $30 because of that storyline he's been able to create behind him, right? And so this is going to be a great way to actually use storylines for your product, because not only does it up the intrinsic value of that very product, but it also entices the viewer to watch that whole entire video, learn more about the storyline, and increase your views, right? So yeah, that's going to be it for today's video, guys. We went ahead and almost covered the majority of the concepts that you should be running for organic dropshipping. Like I mentioned, the one with the stars are going to be the best converting ones, but I would honestly try all of these for your product and see how you could possibly tie one of these to your current product that you're running at this very moment, because I bet you that you can go beyond the whole stitch concept and start, you know, looking at these other concepts and really putting yourself apart from 99% of people that are only relying on grandpa stitch clips and selling slippers and coming up with these fake stories that are damn near borderline scamming, right? And that's 99% of the space now. It's almost kind of embarrassing to kind of be an organic dropshipper right now, but I'm here to tell you guys that there is a way to actually do this legitimately, and I'm here to change the space, bro. We're going back to the old way of organic, to where it actually takes skill to make content and a little bit of creativity. So if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe. Also, if you guys are looking to work with me one-on-one and actually get mentored by me personally, I don't have any coaches. You guys can go ahead and apply to the inner circle down in the description below. We have been absolutely killing it this whole entire month. Students are going absolutely crazy. We got Joey here, 10K week. We got KD, 21K month. We have Javier, 10K in 16 days, all the way from Spain. And we got marketing back-to-back 1K days. We have Harper hitting $500 days with an old product that we dropped weeks ago. It's insane, bro. Even Ernesta's hitting 7K in like 3 days, like insane, bro. Jay, first ever sale, 2.5K days using Sora 2. Pedro with his first ever sale in a new store. We're absolutely crushing it, and it's just the beginning, bro. And it's currently the 23rd of October. So again, if you want to make the most of what's left of Q4, November, December, and want to hop on a call with me and see how I can personally help you, go ahead, take a look at the description. But hopefully you guys found some sort of value in this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.